It began like any urban legend, a whisper in the dark, a shadow caught at the edge of your vision. A clown, they said, just standing there, watching. But this story didn't stay a story for long. It bled into the real world, into quiet suburbs, gas station parking lots, and bedrooms at night. And as women across America began to vanish, only one thing linked them all. They had seen the clown. The first recorded sighting was in Bloomington, Indiana. Carly Simmons, 19 years old, stayed late at her college library for a group project. It was March, rainy, cold. Carly left around 11:30 p.m. The campus was mostly deserted. As she crossed the parking lot, she noticed something at the far end, just under the flickering glow of a failing street lamp. A clown. Not a birthday party clown. Not a Halloween prankster. This one wore a tattered patchwork suit stiff with grime. Its face paint was cracked, peeling. Its lips, too wide, too red, seemed painted on with something thick, darker than lipstick. Carly stopped. The clown didn't move. She blinked. It was gone. She told her roommate that night. Her voice trembled. Said it didn't feel like a person. Said it watched her. 2 days later, Carly disappeared. Her body was found in a drainage ditch 10 miles from town. Her hands were missing. A red balloon was tied to her bare ankle. The police said it was likely unrelated. No suspects, no pattern, until the next one. Bethany Clark lived in a cozy home just outside St. Louis, a 33-year-old real estate agent and mother of 2. A week before she vanished, she told her sister something strange.
I saw a clown in the backyard last night,
Bethany said.
Just standing there, looking at me through the glass.
She thought maybe it was a neighbor's kid. But when she turned on the floodlight, the yard was empty. Bethany disappeared a week later. Her car was found in a parking garage. Door open. Purse untouched. Engine still running. Security footage caught her looking over her shoulder, whispering to herself. She vanished into the stairwell, never came out. Her body turned up 4 days later. Her face had been peeled off and left on a swing at a local playground. A red rubber nose was balanced where her own had been. Her children went to school across the street. The stories spread. In Seattle, a woman reported a clown looking through her apartment window on the 3rd floor. In New Mexico, a teenager claimed to see one in the rearview mirror of her car. When she turned around, the back seat was empty, but the balloon tied to her headrest wasn't. Every woman who vanished had one thing in common. They saw the clown first. Online, people called it a curse, saying,
"If you see it, it's already too late."
Others thought it was a serial killer, someone using fear as a weapon. Dressing up, lurking, playing with victims before striking. But others believed something darker, that the clown wasn't just real, it wasn't even human. One woman survived. Her name was Melissa Hyde, a 27-year-old bartender in Cincinnati. She was walking home after a late shift when she felt it, that sensation of being followed. But when she turned around, no one was there. That night, she dreamed of laughter, soft and low at first, then rising, distorted. She woke to find a red balloon floating in her bedroom, even though her windows were locked. She didn't scream. She didn't move. She just watched it drift toward her against the wind. Melissa didn't sleep after that. For days, she stayed awake, consuming caffeine, barricading her door. She kept journals, described the clown she saw in flashes, behind her when she checked the bathroom mirror, in reflections of store windows, in her peripheral vision while blinking. Eventually, exhausted, she collapsed at work. Her coworkers said she'd scratched her own arms raw, scribbled clown faces over every napkin in the bar. Her last words before she was committed to a psychiatric facility.
It's inside me now. It just needed a crack.
Melissa's descent was not just into fear, but identity collapse. She began to question what memories were hers and which ones were implanted. She spoke of dreams where she was the clown, where her fingers grew long and crooked, where her mouth stretched wider than her face should allow. Her doctors dismissed it as symbolic psychosis, but when a nurse found a red balloon in the facility's freezer and quit the next day, things changed. The security guard who reviewed the footage reported he saw Melissa standing at her window at 3:12 a.m., grinning without moving for hours. Her room had no windows. The doctors diagnosed psychosis but couldn't explain the security footage that showed a figure in bright red standing by her hospital bed the night she tried to claw her eyes out. They called it a glitch, a corruption in the video feed.
More women vanished, and the clown seemed changed.
Witnesses started to describe not just a clown, but the clown, the painted smile, a name whispered in chat rooms, message boards, dark forums. People described him differently, sometimes tall and thin, other times short and hunched, but always that face, a rictus grin stretching from cheek to cheek, hollow eyes painted black, and a mouth that didn't quite match the painted smile, because it moved beneath it. There were patterns too. Red balloons always appeared before a disappearance, often in places they couldn't logically be. Inside locked cars, in sealed basements, floating underwater in bathtubs. One police officer claimed to see one tied to the back of his squad car while driving at 80 miles per hour down a highway. When he pulled over to inspect, the string had wrapped itself through the closed trunk. Then came the voices. Some survivors described hearing laughter, not outside, inside their own heads, a low, warbling chuckle that bent into words.
Do you want to smile forever?
It would ask. One woman in Florida, a former EMT, stabbed her own cheeks into a sickening grin after reporting these voices. She survived, but now she won't speak. She only laughs. A podcaster named Ethan Rains began investigating the cases. A skeptic by trade, he believed it was a viral mass hysteria event, a meme that took root and infected the subconscious. He dug into police reports, interviewed families, even published episodes about each case. But then he received an anonymous package. Inside was a single photograph, his girlfriend asleep in bed, a red balloon hovering above her, and a smear of makeup on her cheek. She had died the night before. Ethan's next episode was never published. His apartment was found empty, the walls covered in red smears spelling the words, "Smile for me." Another survivor, a woman named Maribel, age 41, told investigators about a dream she had every night for a month. In it, she was a child again, lost in a funhouse. But the mirrors didn't reflect her. They showed versions of herself being hunted by the clown. Each night, the dream ended with her staring into a mirror where she was the clown. Maribel's therapist noted her sessions became increasingly erratic. She claimed the clown was
A virus, but for souls.
something that infected your mind through fear and grew until you weren't you anymore. Maribel's final act was recording herself speaking into a mirror, smiling gently, whispering,
It doesn't want your body. It wants your choice. The second you decide it's real, you let it steer.
Then she pressed her face to the glass and did not move again. When police arrived, she was gone. Only the words remained, smeared on the mirror with lipstick. You chose. People started to disappear even if they hadn't seen the clown. All it took was hearing about it. The story itself became the vector. That's when websites were taken down, threads deleted, YouTube videos removed, but it was too late. The painted smile had gone viral. Soon, a new thread appeared online, a hidden page buried deep in the dark web. Its title, The Mirror Doesn't Lie. The author claimed they had discovered the truth, that the painted smile wasn't a person or even a creature. It was a parasite, an idea so potent, so corrosive, that once heard or read, it dug into the subconscious and began reshaping the host. You didn't become afraid of the clown, you became it. The page contained a list of rituals, warnings, prayers, but it ended abruptly. The last post was a garbled mess of symbols, repeating the word AA over and over, thousands of times. Below it, a photo uploaded anonymously, a clown mask nailed to a wall. The eyes were real. Then came reports of mirrors cracking spontaneously, of red smudges on fogged-up glass, forming smiles, of laughter heard during lightning storms. Women started vanishing from live streams, their video feeds cutting out with a balloon in frame. The algorithm began recommending these videos without cause. People started whispering that even watching for entertainment let it in, that knowing of the smile was enough. And yet you kept reading, didn't you? You're still here, aren't you? You've listened this far. You've imagined the clown, tried to picture it. Maybe you even thought of a time when you saw something that didn't belong. A balloon, a shadow, a grin. You see, that's how it starts. It needs your attention. It needs your fear. And now it's looking back at you. But here's the truth. The painted smile isn't a story. It's a mirror. You've followed every detail. You've tracked the sightings. You've absorbed every scene. You've let it in. And maybe that's because it's not watching you. It is you. Look around. Go on. You know what's in the closet. You've seen the red paint under your fingernails. You've noticed the scratches on your skin. The mask fits you perfectly because you were the last face they saw. You didn't remember, but now you do. You are the painted smile, and you're still hungry, and the world is still full of mirrors.